Hi, I'm Russell Rivera, founder and president of Voice Wealth Management. I'm a chartered financial analyst and certified financial planner. I like to think of myself as a personal CFO and financial therapist for young professionals, entrepreneurs, and their families. Today I want to talk to you about why I do what I do. I've never read Simon Sinek's books, Start With Why or Find Your Why, but those books are part of the reason I'm sitting here and talking to you today. At a recent online networking event, one member was talking about her experience with those books and was saying that if you are, as a business owner, able to tell your why and why you do what you do, it'll make it a little bit easier to connect with those who are listening to your message. During the meeting, several participants were asked to elucidate their stories, tell their why, get feedback from the group on how they tell their story. I've told my why many times, but on that day, in that setting, I decided to hold back. With about 3 minutes left, there was a lull in the meeting, weren't sure whether to end it, and I decided this was my time to step up. So now I'm going to share that story with you. Okay, here goes. My youth brought mixed experiences with money. I was good at math, but my dad once cashed out his IRA, which I later found out was kind of a bad thing to do. When my parents divorced, I did a little work and looking around and realized that my mom's income was almost entirely going to pay off the mortgage. It made it really easy for me to say okay when I asked for a new video game system and she said no. I realized the money just wasn't there. In high school, I took an adult ed class on investing and kind of how to pick stocks. I learned a lot, but never really used much of what I learned. Going into college, working in finance was my third choice career, after something having to do with the law and becoming the play-by-play man for the New York Mets. My professional career began with me trading on the now defunct American Stock Exchange in the early days of ETFs. I developed a lot of technical knowledge and even helped develop some new products. But my personal financial life was a lot like so many in their 20s. My personal experience had taught me not to go into debt, so I had that going for me, which is nice. But otherwise, I really was focused on living the life of a guy in his 20s. I maybe wanted to buy an apartment, and I certainly wasn't thinking about saving for retirement. My first bonus went into paying off my student loans, which was probably my first good financial decision. I first contributed to a 401k in 2003 or 2004, which probably was about 2 years too late. I didn't even think of putting money into a taxable account until 2007, right before the top of the market before the financial crisis. My next job was with the thundering herd of Merrill Lynch, my first foray into helping people with their personal finances. It was the fall of 2008, and I had no coherent philosophy and no idea what I was doing. All they wanted me to do was sell, sell, sell. I hated it. Skipping ahead a few years, I was working at a small hedge fund. I was trading my own money, doing pretty well doing that, and started to do some basic portfolio research for the fund and for its clients. That's where I started to learn my investment philosophy, realizing that the right things to do have nothing to do with picking stocks, have the right thing to do with getting people where they want to go. But then I started to think, why do you need to have $500,000 or $1 million minimum to get this type of advice? And what about advice that has absolutely nothing to do with investment management? What about advice that helps you figure out whether or not you should take a loan, or how you should pay off credit card debt, or when you should pay off your student loans? Where is that advice coming from? And why can't more people have access to it? To solve these questions are why I do what I do. To help Joe and Jane get the most out of their dollar, to use it in the best possible way, to realize that financial management is more than just investment management. To me, the biggest thing I hate hearing is someone approaching the age of 50 and saying, I have no money, I don't know what to do, and how do I get on with the rest of my life? I realize that people need to start early and often in making the good financial decisions and need help getting there. Because the worst thing about my job is finding somebody who's near 50 years of age and coming to me and saying, Russell, I feel like I'm in dire straits because I know I should have saved for all these last 25 years and I haven't done it. And now I don't know what I'm going to do with the rest of my life. can you help me? Because they deserved quality advice all along and they weren't receiving it. Maybe because they felt they didn't deserve it, maybe because they didn't feel that they had enough assets to talk to a professional. If you have questions and would like to see whether or not working with a professional will give you answers that help you, you can email me at russell.rivera@voicewealth.com. Or to reach out, make an appointment, visit our website at www.voicewealth.com. Thanks for watching, and remember, it's your money and your future. We are your partner and your voice. See you next time.